In this talk, I'm going to be sharing my perception, my feelings, thoughts about the current events. I'm a former refugee, for those of you who do not know that, and I was personally touched by the atrocities of violence and war. And at the age of 9, I had to flee from my homeland along with my family and relatives and hundreds and thousands of Armenians. And it was an initiation for me. Looking back, I recognized that, and it allowed me to find my way through this world as a spiritual being, knowing that I'm also connected to my humanity deeply. And when I currently look at the events that are happening in Ukraine, in Azerbaijan and Nagorno-Karabakh and Armenia, as well as Israel and Palestine, what arises for me is a deep sense of sadness. And there's a question that comes up of why. Why are we still doing this to each other? Why are we still relying on violence to not even resolve, but because there's no resolution that comes from being violent with each other and defaulting to these primal parts of us that want to kill and commit these acts, and the parts of us that get stirred up, such as hatred and anger and fear and being in survival mode. All of these parts are part of our humanity, and there is space for them. There is definitely space for them. Unfortunately, we as human beings haven't learned to process these emotions in a conscious way, in a mindful way, in a compassionate way. So we just become slaves to these programs inside of us. We become driven by our emotions, and we can't be present in moments like that. So that to me feels tragic. And my wish for humanity is that we wake up. We really, really, really wake up, and we start to see what we're doing to each other. That we can start to recognize that in moments of fear, we can learn to pause. We can learn to feel through the fear. Yes, we can learn to protect ourselves when it's needed, but without defaulting to violence. And I want to share with you that I will be hosting an event through Insight Timer, and I titled it Breathing for Peace, so that we can start to presence for each other and for ourselves what it is that we are struggling with, what we are battling with internally, also externally, and we learn to really increase our capacity to be present with ourselves, with each other, and hopefully for humanity. So if you feel called to join me, I invite you to just find that event. It's called Breathing for Peace, and I'll be hosting it on October 22nd. It will be a Sunday. It will be from 11 to 11:45 a.m. PST. And I hope that you can join me so we can breathe together, that we can presence what surfaces for us, and we can hopefully cultivate a greater sense of awareness and peace in the world. And I'm not using the peace in a way that is shallow, where we just ignore what is going on, but we include what is going on. We sit with it, we feel through it, we process it, and then we alchemize all of that into a greater sense of peace. Thank you. Take care.